Hi everyone and welcome back, and if you haven't watched my channel before, welcome. I figured today I would read my assembly notes because if you've been watching the channel before, you'll know that I've recently done some assemblies at my school raising awareness for alopecia. There's something really sweet happened the other day where I was going to get some lunch and one of the lunch ladies was like, "Did you do a assembly with some of the year 7s, 8s and 9s?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "Oh, my son came home and was talking about it, saying how great it was. He remembered everything you said." And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much." It was very sweet. Made my day. I was smiling for a very long time. But I figured I would read it on here since I've done all the assemblies now. I won't spoil the surprise for anyone else. Yeah, so I've done it all now. So I figured I would read it on here. And my mum helped me get the notes ready, and there are these little blue lines underneath paragraphs, and they're like, my mum calls them breathe lines, since I was in front of a bunch of people that obviously you're going to talk really quickly when you're really nervous. So my mum made me these breathe lines just to go like, finish saying what you're saying and just go, and then keep reading. And what I thought was really cute is that at the end she put a little heart. I love my mum. I love her. I love her. Okay, so just imagine this is what this is what I said in front of a bunch of people. So I wanted to read it on here. I said I would. So it's, "Hi, some of you may know me as a friend, perhaps a relative of some variety, or maybe just a student you've seen around from time to time. Maybe some of you don't know me at all. But if you know me, even remotely, you'll know I have something called alopecia." And then I would ask, "Does anyone know what that is?" And if someone put their hand up, I would ask them. If not, I would just keep talking. A few people did put their hand up, and like, I will admit, from time to time, someone put their hand up to answer that I didn't expect would. Like, so didn't realise it. It was pretty cool. Alopecia is an autoimmune disease. The word alopecia itself simply means hair loss, and I first noticed my hair loss when I was around 5 years old. Oh, notification. Oh, it's my friend Libby. Okay. I first noticed my hair loss when I was around 5 years old, and it's still something I currently have. It can occur at any age and is sometimes chemotherapy induced or possibly caused by other medications, maybe as a reaction of some sort, I don't really know. In this case, we're talking about the body mistakenly attacking the hair follicles, resulting in loss of hair. A lot of the time it's only in the scalp, but there are many types of alopecia that can cause temporary or permanent, total or partial hair loss. I'll flick on to the next one. The cause of this autoimmune condition is the immune system mistakenly attacking the hair follicles, which is the structure from which the hair grows. It's still not known what triggers the immune system to attack healthy hair follicles when people have alopecia areata, or even if these triggers first happen inside the body, maybe from an infection, or outside the body from something in your environment. And it could easily be a combination of both of these. Alopecia areata can affect both men and women of any age. In about 50% of cases, it starts in childhood, like it did for me. About 1 in 1,000 people have some form of alopecia areata, and I know there's a lot of unknown. No known cause, no known cure, and we don't know how much any one person will lose or for how long, which is just one of the reasons it can be so hard to manage. Like I said though, there are many types of alopecia. I have alopecia areata. Areata refers to the patchy nature of hair loss, like think area. Whereas some people may have telogen alopecia, which is the rapid shedding of hair over a short period of time. And maybe other people have androgenetic alopecia, which is male or female pattern hair loss. And that is the most common type of alopecia, and it affects 50% of men over the age of 50 and around 50% of women over the age of 65. To mention one more, there's alopecia universalis, which is where you lose all your hair. It's eyebrows, eyelashes, hair on the scalp, armpit hair, chest hair, all of it just goes. Regrowth is possible in a lot of cases, but unfortunately not in every case. And in some of the times where it is possible for hair to grow back, it may grow back a white or a grey sort of colour, which is what's happening to me. Like, I think it's quite cool that, like, if it does go back to how it was, I'll have natural highlights, but like, I don't see it spoken about very much. But yeah, not in every circumstance the hair will grow back, which is quite sad. Unfortunately, there's a large misconception that hair loss is easier for men to handle, which really is not the case at all. And a woman I once knew told me that hair is a person's pride and joy, and that it makes up part of who you are. And I'd never forgotten those words, because even if your hair doesn't mean that much to you, it would still be really weird it not being there. Alopecia is nothing to be ashamed of, which is something that I've had to remind myself over my life. And there's quite a lot of stigma regarding it, because people quite often get funny when hearing about losing hair. And it isn't commonly spoken about, even though around 100,000 people in the UK have it. And if you didn't know, I'm in the UK, so that's why that little bit of information is in there. There we go. It can be a lonely and scary thing, no matter how old you are, but it can bring such a large sense of community when you're with the right people. Perhaps other people with alopecia, or for example, my friends have been a really good support system for me with my alopecia, and same for my family. My mum has literally done so much for me. She's amazing. She's been my rock and my foundation for everything. Everything and anything. My mum has always been there. So it's always my mum. So she's been my biggest support system. And there's also the Little Princess Trust, which is an amazing place to get a real hair wig, and my real hair wig is literally right there. It's like, if you've watched my Wig Armada YouTube short, you'll see it. It's the one with the cap. That's my real hair wig. And when you get a wig from the Little Princess Trust, you'll get a really nice care package along with it, and I think it's really sweet. I got this little like stuffed bear in my care package, and it was really, really lovely. And I got these lashes. I think they were in there. I really don't know. There was 2 separate things, but the lashes were part of a package. I don't really know, but there was a little like hairbrush along with it, and there was a wig, and it's all really cool. For those not fortunate enough to get a Little Princess Trust wig, real human hair wigs can go for about £1,000 each, and synthetic wigs can range from around 100 plus, and the NHS does offer a contribution. Oh my god, that was so cool. I'm so sorry. I heard a really cool horn outside. That was so funny. Synthetic wigs can go from around 100 plus, and the NHS does offer a contribution, but it's not even close to that number. The most important thing to remember is that alopecia is something anyone can get. It doesn't make you different or an outcast, and yes, it may be the cause for some bullying. For example, I have been bullied for my alopecia so much throughout my life. So yes, it can be the cause of some bullying, sadly. But the most important thing to remember when it does come to bullying, stuff like that, for any sort of condition, is that they would feel the exact same way if they were in that position. And it's just important with anything, maybe alopecia or something else, that it's just so important to handle it the best you can, and just keep moving forward, ask for help if it gets too much, and just keep your chin up. Just like keep trying, keep moving forward. That's just the best bit of advice I can give. And probably the biggest bit of advice that I could give at all is be mindful of the questions you ask, and be considerate of the person you're asking them to. If, like myself, you have a form of hair loss, it can be a really tricky subject to talk about. So just think before you speak, always, because maybe you'll ask a question and it comes off a bit rude, even if it's not intended that way. But if it isn't intended in a rude way, then make sure to clarify that, because it can just get tricky and confusing. So just make sure to clarify. And then I'd say at the end, I hope this helped, thank you for listening, and does anyone have any questions? And then I would ask, does anyone have any questions about maybe the wigs or the condition itself, or maybe my experience? And I only got one question throughout the entire thing, and it was, how long do you lose your hair for? And I said, I don't know. No one really knows, because there's so many different types of alopecia, and you could lose it forever, or maybe a day or a month or a week or a year. No one really knows, and it's so scary that you have no idea how long it's going to be gone for, or if it will ever come back. And I'm sorry if anyone who does have alopecia is watching this. Like, I'm really sorry, because the truth is, you don't know. No one ever knows how long it's going to go for, or anything like that. But that doesn't mean it's going to be gone forever. Like, it could just be a temporary thing. Like, I think, I could be wrong, But with alopecia areata, which is the type I have, regrowth is most likely. But what's just annoying in my case is that since I have alopecia areata, I've had it since I was 5 years old. It's been on and off for my entire life, and it can just be really tricky because I don't know if it's going to be on and off forever or if it'll move on to a different type of alopecia, because I've heard they can like transition between multiple. So yeah, so no matter what type of alopecia you have, whether it's telogen, androgenetic, universalis, areata, or whether it's just a little bit of thinning or something, it's going to be scary either way. And alopecia itself is such a big thing. It's such a scary thing. And it's so tricky to handle that it will have an impact on someone's life. It will have psychological changes. It will impact your attitude. It will impact how you think. Obviously the condition itself doesn't do that, but the experience will have lasting impacts. And for example, every single aspect of life will have an impact on you. So getting alopecia or any sort of condition, whether it be maybe something like scoliosis or alopecia or I don't know, maybe cancer or I don't know. But any sort of condition will have a lasting impact because it's all just scary. Whenever you're told you have this condition, you're a bit like, oh, okay. And life always has tricky experiences, like tricky things to overcome, obstacles, things you have to get around, things you have to cope with. So having a condition adds to it. It makes it all a bit harder. So, I don't know, maybe for example you're bullied at school. That's going to have a lasting impact. And then you get a condition. That's another lasting impact. Maybe you're having an argument with a friend. That's going to have a lasting impact. So, it's all just one thing on top of the other. So with things like alopecia, like I was saying, you never know how long the hair is going to be gone for, or anything like that. And I know that I've made a video before on like my alopecia journey, and God, it was a very tricky video to make, because all that is true. Everything I said in that video is true. But there's also bits I obviously left out for purposes. But you never know what's going on behind closed doors, is basically what I'll say to that. Because I've been raising awareness for alopecia for a while now, I think. I don't really know how long. But I've been trying very hard to raise awareness for it. But you never know what's going on behind closed doors, because I see all these content creators talking about alopecia or a condition or something and being very open about it, which is really, really good. Like, they're open about it. That's amazing. That's brilliant. That's going to help so many people. But I always get really worried that people are just going to assume that they're okay. Like, maybe they are. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe I'm completely out of line there. But, like, with me, for example, it's the only reason I'm thinking of that, really, is that I'm raising all this awareness and stuff like that, but I'm still feeling really sad about my alopecia. It's still something really upsetting, and it would be for anyone. So I always worry that people are just going to assume that someone else is okay completely if they're trying to raise awareness for something. Like, if they have it themselves. If you know what I mean. I know I've gone on, like, a massive tangent there, but oh well. At least I'm hopefully getting a point across. But yeah, I've been doing those assemblies and all that sort of stuff. It was really, really scary standing in front of that assembly hall. So many eyes on you. God, it's so scary. But the fact that the teachers who were announcing me at the assemblies were like, oh, Layla's doing something really brave here. And I was like, yes, I am. I'm doing something very brave. Brave person. And then after every assembly, I'd stand outside the door just as they're letting everyone leave and go to recess. I would stand there and they would come out and be like, oh, that was so good, that was so amazing, really good thing. And one teacher came out and went, nice wig, I'm assuming. And I went, it is a wig, thanks. I mean, it was a genuine compliment, like, oh, nice wig. I was like, thank you very much. And on my most recent assembly, I was standing outside the door just letting everyone leave, and I was getting fist bumped as everyone walked past, and I was like, okay, thanks. And someone said, I hope your alopecia goes away soon. And I was like, you know what, me too, thank you very much. God. Oh, and no, I'm not crying, it's just the side of my eyes itchy. Yeah. So, fun. But if you have any questions about things I may not have answered already in this video, please leave it down in the comments and I'll answer to the best of my ability. I hope everyone has a fantastic day. Thank you for listening for this amount of time. I hope you all have the best day. Thank you very much, and see you all soon.